One, two, three. Here we go. Yes, welcome back to the Man United stream, guys. Hope you're doing well. It is Sunday evening now. I thought I was going to say Sunday afternoon, but it's Sunday evening, and what a weekend we've had of football. I'm loving it, and I'm sure you guys are as well. What a weekend for Man United fans. What a weekend. Let me just zoom in, actually. Let me zoom in, because I'm... there we go. That's better. You can see me a bit more clear. That's better. You can see me rather than the entire room. But anyway, guys, welcome to the Man United stream. Welcome to all Man United fans who are probably buzzing from this weekend's results. Not only because Man United thrashed Brighton 4-2. It was an amazing game. We'll have a look back at that game. But we also got all the other results going in our favour. Liverpool losing. What a result. I mean, I thought the weekend can't get any better. We've won at home against Brighton. It was a convincing win. And I thought, look, Liverpool, yeah, they're going to go away from home. They're going to recover. They're going to go and win. It's going to be an easy game for them. And it wasn't. Brentford destroyed them. Brentford actually outplayed Liverpool. And look, I'm not a hate watcher. I don't go around watching Liverpool and hating on them. But I do want them to lose. I don't want them to win. I don't know why. And that's with all the rival teams. I don't want anyone really above us to win. Arsenal did just about win over Crystal Palace today with that 1-0 win. But that was kind of expected. I wasn't expecting Arsenal to lose this season or this weekend. I'm still hoping that they encounter some teams later on and lose. And we got Man City losing as well. Huge win for Aston Villa against Man City. And again, they're one of our closest rivals. And I think we're sitting in 6th position. Who would have thought a couple of weeks ago that United, under Rúben Amorim, all this talk about him getting sacked, about him not changing his formation and things like that, and suddenly we're talking about finishing top 4. And it's serious. It's realistic. I'm not even being hyped. I'm not getting hyped. I'm not getting carried away. I'm not thinking I'm being biased against Man United. I think on the United's performances across the season so far, I think it's very realistic to look at United and say they should be finishing in top 4. They should be looking at top 4, if not making a title challenge. But I'm not going to get carried away. I'm not going to say, look, we should be up there fighting against Arsenal and the likes. But I am confident. I am looking at this team thinking, we've got a lot more to come. We've got a lot more football in this team, and we've got lots more goals. Sesko isn't fully firing. I think the other players like Bruno Fernandes hasn't been scoring too many goals. Ahmad hasn't chipped in either, really. But we've got lots of goals in this team. The only problem we have is that we still haven't got a lot of games to kind of experiment with. We've got the 1 game every week with the Premier League, and that's it, really. We haven't got time to explore different players and give them opportunities to kind of settle down and play. Amorim has just got this one Premier League game, and he has to squeeze all these players in, and hopefully they all work. Look. Let's look back at Brighton game. Let's look back at yesterday's game. It was so impressive. And I must admit, I went into the game a bit worried. I went into this game a bit pessimistic. I was a bit like, oh, look, Brighton have had a really good form against United at Old Trafford. In the last couple of years, they've been turning up, and they've been doing us over. They've been doing us over. Let's not mince our words. Let's not say United, just lost by being unlucky against Brighton. Brighton used to turn up and they used to turn us over, right? But yesterday, this is what we've been waiting for. It was such a joyous occasion, and I was so happy to watch this United team finally start cooking. How long have we waited for this? 3 wins in a row. That's one positive. But just the general gameplay. Every time United went forward, they looked dangerous. Every time United had the ball, they were very direct. And every time they were just getting the ball and looking forward for that killer pass and to put pressure on Brighton. But not only when it was just not when they had the ball, but even when Brighton had the ball, the way United were just not allowing them to even breathe, look up, and allowing them to play out from the back. Credit where credit is due. Brighton still tried to play out from the back throughout the game, but they kept going, getting caught out, and it was that tactical skill from Amorim. Obviously, he's been telling us this for some time, that he wants his centre-back, Luke Shaw in particular, to push up in the midfield and try and win that ball back high on the pitch, so we can then counter as quick as possible and get that goal. And 2 goals out of United's 4 goals came from that quick turnaround, that pressure high up on the pitch that made them get a chance whilst Brighton were all over the place. Brighton were all out of formation, and United quickly got them goals. The Casemiro goal and the Mbeumo goal. Was it Mbeumo goal? Oh, I think it was the Mbeumo goal. They were from the pressure that United were applying on Brighton. Brighton had no answer to it. And the other thing that I love about this United team right now is the Ahmad Mbeumo collaboration. What they're doing on the right wing, no defence can cope with them in the Premier League. I don't think there's any defence out there that can cope with them 2 players. Because Ahmad, we know he's an attacking player. He's not going to sit back. And the way he overlaps when Mbeumo's got the ball, and when Ahmad's got the ball, and Mbeumo's making that run forward, they know what each other are doing. There's a link between them 2 that is really good, and you can see that on and off the pitch, that they get on, and on the pitch you can see that they both know what the other player is going to do. It's brilliant. And yesterday, actually, we also saw some gameplay between Cunha and Casemiro, the 2 Brazilians. There was a lot of link-up play between them 2, and it was fascinating. All over the pitch, United were the better team. And going forward, I think United can absolutely be looking at finishing in the top 4. I'm sure secretly that's what Rúben Amorim is thinking. He's thinking, with this team, I can actually cook. With this team, I can push forward and try and get in the top 4 positions of the Premier League. And we're seeing the other teams falter around us. We saw Man City lose. We saw Liverpool, who've lost their 4th game in a row. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Good news, but I'm loving it. I'm loving watching these Liverpool fans absolutely fall apart. I mean, they are absolutely going wild over Liverpool signing all these players, not knowing exactly what position to play them in. It's an embarrassment of riches, but look, just because you've got all these players doesn't mean that your team's going to cook. Even though, I must admit, I, included many other fans out there, were all looking at this Liverpool team thinking, shit, they've gone and they've improved their team. They've gone and signed Wirtz, they've gone and signed Izzat, they've gone and signed all these players, and Ekitike. They're going to absolutely cook every team that's going to come against them. And everyone's in trouble in the Premier League. We thought they're just going to walk it to another Premier League title, but it looks like it's not going to happen like this. It's not going to happen. Arsenal are way ahead of the lead. They had a bit of a poor start, I'd say, to the Premier League season, but they've carried on and they've got them wins, and now they look like they're going to be hard to catch up. They're going to be hard to catch up unless some other team steps up and starts winning and goes on a winning streak. Of course, Bournemouth are up there, which is strange. We've got Sunderland who are up there, and we've got Spurs who are up there as well. And then it's Man City, I think, and then it's Man United in 6th position. But we are in a very, very good position. I'm really, really good. Arsenal will bottle it. Rick, let's hope so. You are the man who always gets things spot on. I must admit, Rick, thank you for joining us this evening. You are spot on with everything you say. I mean, I'm not going to go against you, but I think so too. I think Arsenal are the number 1 bottlers in the Premier League, without a doubt. I mean, if anyone is stealing a lead, and it's Arsenal, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to probably bottle it sometime or another in this season. They've done it many times before. Arteta's going to be really pushing his team, making sure that they do not lose this lead that they've got. But I can't see this team going away and just carrying on winning. And they were lucky against Man United. They were lucky against United. And this is why I'm filled with a lot more confidence than I was at the start of the season. I mean, obviously we had that loss against Man City, and that really, really upset me, and I was really worried about the future of United. But after that blip, we've looked very good. And you said next to Liverpool, Yeah. That's true, Rick. That is true. Yeah, next to Liverpool. Look, I'm hoping Arsenal will bottle it. I'm hoping, Liverpool, I think, look, they're going to come back strong. I'm not going to write Liverpool off. Because they've just simply got too many top players to fall off. But then again, you don't know. They've got so many top players that they can't actually play together. And then, there's an embarrassment of riches, like we said. Slot he didn't have a plan. He's bought all these players, but he actually didn't know where he was going to play them all. And the problem isn't really Liverpool in the attacking terms. Liverpool defensively is where the problem lies. And, we wouldn't have guessed it, but Alexander Trent he's been missed at Liverpool, which is weird. But look, this is it. Their defence looks like it's out of sorts. Konate yesterday giving up, running back. I think on the first goal it was for Brentford. That was embarrassing. If my centre-back did that, I would be absolutely pissed with him. I'd be like, what the F are you doing? You're just stopping running. You carry on running no matter, even if you do not get to the ball, even there's no chance, you still lunge, you still do something to show the fans, the away fans, the ones who've travelled with you, that look, I'm giving it all. I'm giving it my all. If I saw a centre-back at United not doing that and giving up and stop running before the guys even let off a shot, I'd be pissed. Rick says, ever since Lemons went in net, we have been more confident. And ever since Jim backed Rúben, we've been stronger. Confidence all over helps. Absolutely. That comment sums up what's happened in these couple of weeks. And I couldn't agree more with you, Rick, because let's first of all look at the Senny Lemons effect. We've been crying out, not just me or you, Rick. There's been lots of fans of United who've all been watching United play, and we've all accepted that our goalkeeper situation was not good. We had Andre Onana in goals and he was useless. The reason being is because he couldn't stop a shot. He was not a shot stopper. Yes, he was brilliant with his feet, but who gives a crap if he's good with his feet? We've got 10 players out on the field that are good enough to play with their feet. So give them the bloody ball. You do what you're meant to be doing as a goalkeeper, and that is saving shots. That's your job. You can bloody use your hands. We don't give a shit whether you can use your feet and pass the ball out from the back. I never got that. The moment we signed him, and I was like thinking, okay, let's see what he can do. Is he a good shot stopper? And immediately I was like panicking, thinking this guy he can't save anything. He can't save anything. And then it went on and on and on, and we were still giving him the benefit of doubt, as Man United fans do. We all stick with our players. We do not bury them. We give them as much time as possible. And every time he kept doing something good, we were like cheer him on, and we'd be like, look, Onana's good. Let's back him. But then he'd come back again and do the same thing, which is screw us up on really pivotal moments. Pivotal games, he'd screw us up. And then we brought in a second goalkeeper in Altay Bendia, who was almost as worse, if not worse, than Andre Onana. So we had two shit goalkeepers. I mean, there was times this season where I was like, look, we might as well play Heaton. We might as well play Heaton in the first team, because that's how bad our first two goalkeepers are. And I was so happy that we'd gone out there and signed Senny Lemons. But even I wasn't expecting him to perform the way he has done. He's performed magnificent. Look, let me choose my words carefully, because I don't want to get carried away. I don't want to kind of say he's absolutely brilliant and this and that. But so far, he's been playing like a very, very experienced goalkeeper. For someone so young, for someone who's not played in the Premier League before, he's come in and he's got a air of calmness. He's just relaxed. He doesn't shout too much. He doesn't get carried away. He doesn't look nervous. And I'm loving it. And the way he just comes out, catches the ball. I mean, how long have we as Man United fans suffered? We've suffered, guys. We've suffered watching these two clowns in goal who can't even come out and catch the ball. And we were complete disarray. We were a complete mess when it came to corners. And every Premier League, every team that turned up in the Premier League, they knew exactly what to do. Put that ball into the area and get a free header into the goals, because their goalkeeper is not going to come off his line. Their goalkeeper is useless. Whether it was Altay Bender or whether it was Onana, they knew our weakness and it was obvious to everybody. But now that we've got a top goalkeeper or a decent goalkeeper, I'm not going to go and say, look, he's top right now. He's still got lots to prove. But look, let's not get carried away. But he's a very good, solid goalkeeper. And we've been missing that. And Rick, you said exactly right. He has come out and he's given the rest of the team some confidence. And I said it many times. Look, United, in the past, the great teams of United, the ones that have gone on, won trebles and gone on won the Premier Leagues and stuff, they've always had one thing in common. We've had a very good goalkeeper, a solid goalkeeper, one that does not let you down, someone who kind of spreads confidence and calmness in the defence and the rest of the team. And we've been missing that. I mean, for me, Rick, you might remember Barthez. Do you remember the French goalkeeper Barthez, the World Cup winning goalkeeper Barthez? I was speaking to a younger fan the other day and I was like, look, I can still remember Barthez. I was young myself, but I remember him coming to United and he was a complete joke, wasn't he? He was a complete joke. He was all over the place. He was a bit of a clown, wasn't he? He was just completely top goalkeeper for France, but he was a complete, absolute flop. Yeah, he was an absolute flop for United. Absolutely could not do anything right. And I mean, it completely destroyed our team. Our team was all over the place because of the goalkeeper. Despite having such experience and top players out on the field, the goalkeeper affected our display. The goalkeeper affected our confidence. And that's why many people think, oh, goalkeeper, so what? He just stands there most of the times, gets called into action maybe 5-6 times in the match. Who gives a shit? Anyone can play that position. No, they can't. No, they can't. We need a goalkeeper who spreads confidence in that team. And Senny Lemons, since he's come in, has done that. He's made a world of a difference. And I can't think of any fan out there who's been watching United turn around and say, actually, do you know what? He's not good enough and he's not played well enough. That's the difference. The other huge difference, like Rick said, Sir Jim came and backed Rúben Amorim. And that not only put to bed the press, but it also put to bed the thoughts that any player might be having in the dressing room thinking, I don't like this guy. I don't like Rúben Amorim. I don't like his formation. I don't like his system and I want him out. I want a new manager. I'm sick of it. How many times have we seen player power take over at United? And this is the only time we've had an owner in Sir Jim Ratcliffe who's come out and said, no, I'm going to give him 3 years. I don't give a shit what's happening. I don't care what's happening on the field or what the players are doing. He's got 3 years to cook. And then there's players probably in that dressing room thinking, shit, we haven't got 3 years to last this club. Our contracts are over. So we're going to be out before Rúben Amorim is. So we might as well now have to try. We have to pull our fingers out and work hard for this manager, or we're going to face the wrath of the ownership who are going to get rid of us or the manager. I think that's why it's worked wonders. So Rick, you're 100% right. I thought that as well. As soon as he said it, I first thought about it. I thought, why would Jim Ratcliffe come out and say that? Why would he say he's got 3 years? Why would an owner come out and say that? Okay, maybe not say, he's not going to clearly say, I'm not going to back my manager, but why would he even give him a blank slate of 3 years at the club? And then it all made sense. It all made sense. He was giving a message to the players in that dressing room that I don't give a shit. I'm going to give this guy 3 years, so you better pull your socks up and go out there and work your socks off on the pitch, or else you're going to be the ones leaving, not him. And I think that's worked wonders. So Rick, 100% right. Do I remember Roy Carroll? Yeah, I mean, another one, isn't it? Look, we don't have to go far back in history. We just need to look back and see United's form when they've had terrible goalkeepers. And you can look at the outfield team, and we've still got top players in the outfield. United have always had consistently top players in the outfield under even Sir Alex Ferguson. But even Sir Alex Ferguson understood how important it was to go and get yourself a top goalkeeper. In fact, I was watching Peter Schmeichel's interview not long ago. I think it was a couple of days ago, a week ago, I think it was. And he was giving an interview and he was explaining how Sir Alex Ferguson flew out and actually met with him even before they made an offer. A year before they even made an offer to sign him. They came in, he sat down with him and said, I'm going to sign you next summer, but I want you to carry on what you're doing, and then you're going to become a Man United player. And Schmeichel was an unknown player at that time. He was a goalkeeper no one knew. And then he was like, right, okay, Sir Alex Ferguson turned up, wants me to sign for Man United. right, okay, I'm going to carry on, and then the rest is history. And the same thing we did after going through Barthez and all the rest, and Roy Carrolls and stuff. We ended up signing Van der Sar from Fulham, I think it was. And again, another top goalkeeper. And I think Sonny Lemons actually reminds me a lot more of Van der Sar than he does of Peter Schmeichel. Peter Schmeichel was a very loud spoken goalkeeper, very aggressive with his defenders. You'd see him many times kind of bollocking all of them, saying, look, get your shit together, blah, blah, blah. Van der Sar was kind of opposite to that. He was very quiet, very calm, very relaxed. And I think Sonny Lemons is like that. You see him, even off the pitch, he's very relaxed, kind of just does his thing, turns up, and then, yeah, just chilled. Rick says, right after Sir Jim said that, we turned the corner in a fashion. Yeah, we did. And kudos to him. Kudos to Jim Ratcliffe and Rúben Amorim, because it's obvious. I mean, we've done a 360, guys. We've done a 360, because before then, there was lots of fans. We were all worried. We were all panicking about Rúben Amorim and what was going on. We got a battering against Man City, and we were all worried, thinking, shit, we're not any better than last year. We're not any better than last year. What's going on? But suddenly, these same players that didn't really look like they were up for it now are playing like they need to win every single ball. They're aggressive. They're going in there from the first minute onwards, and they are pushing forward. They are trying to win the ball back high up the pitch. It's amazing to watch. But these are the same players that we had a couple of weeks ago when we lost against, Grimsby. What's changed? I tell you what's changed. They've heard that this manager's not going anywhere. No matter what they do, he's not going anywhere. And I think they've panicked and they've thought, right, okay, shit, now we need to pull our pants up. We need to pull our socks up or whatever it is. You get it, guys? Rick said the players deserve a call out too. They're buckled down. Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's some players in this team. Number one, actually, look, the two players that we've signed from the Premier League this season, that is Acuna and Mbeumo, absolutely brilliant. What they've introduced to our team is composure, confidence. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit who's turned up. And they haven't got that boogie on their back, which is, oh, Brighton turned up last season and shafted us. They don't give a shit. And Mbeumo doesn't care. And Mbeumo wasn't part of the squad. Kuna doesn't care. He wasn't part of the squad. Sesko doesn't know. So they're all thinking, this is Brighton. We don't give a crap about Brighton. Well, they've got a crappy defence. We're going to go and destroy him. And that's exactly what we saw. And I think that instills confidence in the rest of the players. We've got then Bruno Fernandes and the others who are like, yeah, okay, we can actually go and win this. We can actually go and attack this team, and we can do what we need to do to get the win over them. Look, of course, there's a huge amount of confidence that the team has gained from winning away from home against Liverpool at Anfield. It's a huge, huge ask that for any team. And for Man United to go out there and do that, I think has given him a huge amount of confidence to go into other games and carry that same level of performance. And that's why I was really worried about the game against Brighton yesterday, because I was thinking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are we going to get the same team that turned up against Liverpool, or are we going to get something else? And I was really hoping that we get the same team. I was thinking, please, guys, please just put in the same level of performance. Don't drop it. Don't think this is at home and it's easy and it's Brighton, and don't please, for once, just go again. Go again on this game. Try and do what you did against Liverpool, and thank God they did. And we were coasting at 2-0. I mean, the scoreline actually doesn't actually tell the full story, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. You might disagree out there. You might be thinking, well, Brighton got close to getting a result against United, but I thought United were always in control of that game. I was watching it very carefully, and then I must admit I'm a bit of a nerd like that, so I went and rewatched it after I'd done the watch along. I think I had some dinner, and then I sat back down again. I didn't watch the Liverpool game because I was like, look, I think Liverpool are going to win. So I thought, I'm not going to watch that. So I went back, watched the United game, this time with some commentary, whereas when I'm doing the live stream watch along, I can't really hear anything. I'm just doing it as I'm watching it and describing what's going on to the rest of you guys. But when I watched it again, and watched how United played, what they did, and Mbeumo was obviously clear man of the match. Brilliant performance. But there was also the other players in this United team that are now cooking, that are now actually putting their shift in. The defence, I love seeing De Ligt playing this defence, man. He's been, for me, our number one centre-back this season. Absolutely wonderful to watch him. He's just solid. He's just solid at the back. And then we've got Kuna. Again, he got his first goal for the club. Absolutely brilliant for him. And look, he puts in a shift. He puts in a shift every single game. You don't see him, what he does off the ball, but he puts in an absolute shift. Rick says, Sir Alex Ferguson teams believe they could beat anyone. This team is starting to believe that. Yeah, if you look back at the players, when you ever listen to the players under Sir Alex Ferguson, when it came to, like, you know, Scholes or Beckham or Giggs or any of those, you know, before we got Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo joining us. I'm talking about the time when the class of '92 came in, and if you listen to any of those players, they'll be like, look, if we turn up for a game and we turn up when we're a bit slow to start, and a team scores against us, that's it. They've had it. I mean, I heard Scholes once say that. He said something like, Paul Scholes, he said, when we turn up and we were not at the races and a team scored against us, we'll all kind of wake up and say, how dare you score against us? Do you know who the F we are? We're Man United. And then they would hit them with such ferocity, and they'd score 3-4 goals without them even replying. And they go, that's what we'd be like. We'd be like, how dare you score against us? And they had a belief in them that, look, we are the best team in the Premier League, if not Europe. And that's what gave them the confidence. And yeah, I mean, winning, of course, is important, and that's what instills that confidence in you, and you start believing that you can walk on water. That's what it is. These players, after a while, are winning again and again and again. They'll start believing, and I think that belief has come into this team after winning Liverpool, now against getting over this boogie team of Brighton. And let's be honest, Brighton are our boogie team. They've, in the last couple of seasons, they've been turning up to Old Trafford and shafting us, and you know, every time we've been thinking, this season we're gonna stop this, we're gonna put a stop to this. They kept on turning up and scoring with all their players. And Danny Welbeck, my God, he's got it out for United, hasn't he? But anyway, it was a good free kick. Senny Lemons could have done slightly better on the free kick, I thought. But anyway, it was still a very good free kick. But did Brighton deserve anything out of that game? I don't think so. No, they didn't, because they had a lot of possession of the ball, but they really didn't do anything with it. They were holding the ball, but they really weren't actually playing direct football. They weren't attacking United. They weren't really pressuring Senny Lemons or our defence. They didn't really have much shots on target, despite having more possession of the ball. United, on the other hand, had the ball, but when they had the ball, they made full use of that. They went attacking. They got the ball and carried it forward, moved forward directly, trying to score a goal without any kind of time wasting or anything like that. And I think that paid them justice. They played Van Gaal. Yeah, they did, mate. They did, Rick. They played Van Gaal ball. Van Gaal, yeah. They did. They're just... wasn't it enjoyable to watch? I mean, I enjoyed every minute of that game, and I know how I enjoyed it, because the time flew by. I mean, the first half, I was like, what, 45 minutes have gone? How did that happen? And then, boom, the second half is finished, and I'm like, the entire game is finished, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. Apart from maybe after Brighton scored their second goal, I got a bit nervous. I did think... oh shit, are they gonna equalise? But I was still confident, I must admit. I was still confident. I was still thinking, Brighton, no way can they equalise. I still thought United still had players out on that pitch that could cope with it. And that final fourth goal from United with Mbeumo just smashing it in. That's when you start knowing, you see the signs that the players are playing with confidence. That dummy by Bruno Fernandes, and then just that finish by Mbeumo. It was emphatic, brilliant. Some of the touches and moves and feints, yeah, absolutely brilliant, Rick. Honestly, Rick says, yeah, that's exactly what I saw. I think United were just playing with confidence, and I just feel like going forward, they're going to start building on this. Hopefully, they're going to start building on it. I don't think Rúben Amorim's going to let them drop to any other level now. He's not going to accept anything below this, what they're already given. And I think his substitutions have been great as well. Rúben Amorim, he has changed things around. If we think that he's not done anything when after the loss against Man City, you will be surprised. You'd be surprised at how much tactically he has changed this United team. He's tinkered with them, and then his substitutions have been great. He takes off Casemiro, knowing full well that he gives you a good 60 minutes, but after that he does get tired. So take him off, and customarily, Casemiro, you know when he's tired because he goes and fouls and gets a yellow card for himself. He knows. Have you noticed how on the 60th minute or around that mark, Casemiro goes and gets himself a yellow card? It's almost like on the dot. He goes and gets himself a yellow card, and then he gets pulled off. Rúben Amorim knows exactly right. That's a sign. Casemiro comes off. He takes off Ahmad as well, because that's a really good move. It's a solid move, because what he's doing, he's then bringing Dalot onto that right wing back position, and then he's defensively seeing out the game. That's when you know, right, okay, United now are going to go into a different style of play. They're going to take off the attacking player, bring on another defensive player in Dogu, play him on left wing back, and that's how he's going to move forward. Brilliant from Rúben Amorim. You've got to give credit where it's due. And Rúben Amorim in the last few games has shown what he's capable of, and he stuck to his word. I mean, yeah, lots of managers would have buckled under the pressure, under the intense pressure that not only the fans put him under, the press had him under, everyone was talking about his system, even including me. I'm going to hold my hands up. I was worried, and I was pleading with Rúben Amorim, saying, please change your system around, change your formation around, do something to change things around, because you're walking yourself out of the United job, and I don't want to see that. I don't want to start all over again. I don't want to see another manager walk in and say, oh, okay, I'm going to have a blank slate. I need another 2-3 years. I'm going to come in and I need to bring in my players and my system and my style of play, and I just didn't want to go back to that again and write off this season. That's the worst thing we can have happen to us, which is writing off another season. And thankfully, we're not in that position. We are in a position where there's other teams around us that are losing, that are not keeping their shit together. We've seen Liverpool struggling despite signing, all these players and spending so much money, millions, multi-million pound deals through the summer. And we were all watching them thinking, oh my God, that's it, it's over. It's over before it even starts. This season is over. Liverpool are going to walk it. But this is why we all love football. This is why we love football, because you don't know what's going to happen. Yes, they've got the best team on, shall we say, on paper. They've got the best team, but we can see that they can't work together. There's something not clicking. I don't give a crap what it is, as long as it doesn't click. I don't really care. I want them to stay as they are. Thank you for that. I mean, Arsenal, like Rick said in the opening of the show, they're classic bottlers, and I can't see that changing. I think that's one of their big problems that you can't really get over. There's something in that Arsenal side that just simply can't see it all the way to the end. They can't carry themselves to the end, and I don't think they've been playing good. I think they've got lucky. I think they got lucky against United. I think they got lucky against Newcastle, and I think they've got lucky on a few other occasions in this season so far. They've not been impressive. They've not been a team that you look at and think, whoa, this team is going to go on to win the Premier League. I'm not looking at Arsenal and thinking that. So I know for a fact they're going to start losing. If they get 1 or 2 injuries in that team, boom, off, their season's off. I mean, we know that if they get an injury back in the centre-back positions, or if they get someone like Declan Rice missing a few games or something, they're going to struggle. They will struggle because they haven't got them players that can carry the team, in my opinion. You might think differently. You might say, look, no, Arsenal are going to carry on and they're going to, win the Premier League. They're going to be a team that's going to be unstoppable. But I can't see that. I really look at this Arsenal team. I think they've been lucky. They've been lucky in a few matches, and I think when they're put to the test later on in the season, I think they will struggle. I think they'll struggle. There's other teams like Bournemouth up there as well. Bournemouth have been playing really well. Again, I don't know what's going to happen with them. We've got Sunderland up there. So, look, I'm happy to see Sunderland where they are. We played against Sunderland. We won against Sunderland, if I remind you of that. But they're a team that are United, play really well. Can I see them lasting the entire season? No. Look, they've started well, but I don't think they're going to go on to actually, stay up on top of the table. Jim, hello mate. How are you? How you doing, my friend? Hope you're enjoying your weekend of football. Hope you've enjoyed the last couple of games we've watched, and we've watched Liverpool lose. Who would have thought, hey Jim? Who would have thought that we've got more in store? I thought the weekend had already finished when we watched United win, and I thought, right, okay, this is the best we've got. And then suddenly, boom, we get the Liverpool result. But I was thinking, this is getting better and better. I mean, I was over the moon, and then what happened today with Man City, I was like, right, okay, stop right there. I need to bottle this up somehow and take it to next weekend, because this is what we need. The confidence, Man United fans buzzing, and everyone's... It's lovely to see and watch United fans as a community getting together and having some happy moments. I mean, how long has it been for us United fans where we've just not had a time where we can sit down and watch others screw up and enjoy watching our own team play football for once? I mean, look, we've had weekends where Liverpool have lost and Arsenal have lost and things like that, but we ourselves haven't really played well. We ourselves might have lost that weekend and we've watched others lose, and we might have played a game and might have just scraped a win. But this weekend's very different to that. This weekend, we absolutely destroyed Brighton. We destroyed Brighton, a team that many teams have struggled against. Many of the top teams this season, Newcastle lost to them, Chelsea lost to them. We absolutely wiped the floor clean with them. Brighton had no clue what to do. They could not deal with us. They could not deal with this United team. Yaya, how are you doing, mate? Thank you for joining us today. Like and share, subscribe. Thank you very much for that, Yaya. And Yaya says, glory, Man United. Yeah, man. It's finally here, man. We've got some glory back in. Look, we as United fans have been waiting for this for a long time. But look, what I'm looking at this United team, and I'm really happy with, is that I can see some genuine difference. I can see differences that we can work on and we can build on. Look, we've had some performances throughout our time in the recent years where we've seen them go up and down, and we've seen a really good performance, and I've thought, wow, what a great win. Maybe this is the turning point. Maybe this is where we're going to turn. And then next week we go and flap it. Next week we turn around and go and lose against a lesser team. So we might say, for instance, win against Chelsea or Arsenal one weekend, and then next weekend we're like, okay, we're going to clearly go and beat someone like, Fulham or something, and then we go and absolutely get thrashed by Fulham or something at home, or Brighton, or whatever it was. But this time it's a little bit different. Something feels different to me. It feels like we are not that team anymore. And Rúben Amorim has been working on the players. The psychological state of these players has been changed by Rúben Amorim. He's been working on it, and he's been saying it. Look, these guys, their mentality is that they're used to losing. And I need to get that out of their heads. I need to turn them into winners again. And I think that's what's different. Jim says... Liverpool and City, and the only thing we missed, jammy Arsenal. Yeah, jammy Arsenal, man. But look, like I said, Jim, just before I was saying, I don't think this is going to carry. I don't think they're going to be able to carry. Ryan, welcome to the show, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I mean, look, what can I say? I've been buzzing. I've been on cloud 9 today. I've just been coasting through the day. What a difference it makes. I mean... look, when Rúben Amorim says, look, this is for the fans. This win is for the fans. And when the players say, they don't really, I hope they understand what it actually means to Man United fans, what it means to us there at Old Trafford watching our team cook Brighton, watching them score goals, watching these players' faces, watching them smiling, watching them confidence, and I love it. I mean, I just enjoy it, and then just the air of confidence then it breathes through the entire fans, and everyone. It's a party atmosphere. Everyone's walking, everyone's smiling. You're high fiving random people you don't know. You're like, yeah, high five, yeah, United. You know, that's what it's all about. That's what football does to you. Ryan says, big up, yeah, Ryan, hello, yeah, and then Ryan, if Jim the Rat wants back Amorim and wants to back Amorim and get European spots, they need to get midfielders in January. Oh, that's a great point, Ryan. You reminded me. I've gone off track, haven't I? I've gone off track because I've just kind of gone off. The title was that we need to move on January. That's what I need to talk about. Thank you for that, Ryan, because I've got carried away, haven't I? I always do this with live streams. The problem is I can go on for hours and hours, and I always jump on thinking, I'm gonna keep it to 20 minutes. I'm gonna keep it to 30 minutes. But the moment I start talking to the likes of Rick and Jim and everybody else, and all of you who are watching, and you kind of chip in, I love it. I just love it because then I just want to carry on and discuss things with you. But yes, spot on, Ryan. We need to back this guy in January. We cannot let this slip. We cannot allow ourselves to simply say, "Oh, look, do you know what? We're doing well, and we can carry this through." No. Rúben Amorim was absolutely adamant that he needs a midfielder in the summer transfer window, and they failed him. They absolutely failed him. What I've heard from sources at United is that Rúben Amorim was insistent that he needs a CDM, a central midfield player in that, someone who can play defensive football in that position, and they failed him. They turned around and said to him, look, we've not been able to sign Carlos Bleber, and we've not gone and got a second option either. They tried to bring Conor Gallagher in, but late they couldn't do that either, and then we've been left short, and he's been left short. And Rúben Amorim actually hinted to that. He said, I think in the first or second press conference of the season, he said, he's talking to the journalists, he said, you're not aware of what's been happening behind the scenes. And that is, I think he was alluding to the fact that, look, I've tried my best to bring in a central defensive player, and we've not been able to get one in. But it's not because I've not asked for someone. I have asked for someone to come in, but we've just not simply been able to sign someone. January is crucial, and that's why I think, look, I don't think Carlos Bleber is going to be sold. I don't think Brighton are that team that we can negotiate with and get on with. I can't see that happening. But one team I can see that happening with is Crystal Palace. I think we can possibly go in there and get Adam Wharton, and I would actually put Adam Wharton ahead of Carlos Bleber at this time. I think he's a young English centre mid. He reminds me of Carrick. I think he's going to be brilliant going forward in his potential future. As a midfield player, I think he's going to be brilliant in the Premier League. All the top clubs are looking at him very carefully, and I think it would be silly of us to overlook him right now. And yes, Carlos Bleber is a very good player, but we've seen that he's not in good form right now. His head's not right, and we know that Brighton, even if we went for Carlos Bleber, I don't feel that they will sell him in the January transfer window. So look, for me, it's Adam Wharton. For me, we have to back him. And Ryan, spot on, mate. You said it exactly like I was thinking. Is that we need to back him. We've won before. We won and played well. Jim says, sorry. We won before, but we won and played well. We're not always done both. Yeah, spot on. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been thinking, Jim. You were watching it with me yesterday, and we were going through it, and we're like, look, this is different, isn't it? This feels different, doesn't it, Jim? It was different. There was something about that performance yesterday that was different. It was just that we were in control. We were in control of their game. And that's what was different. And we have won in other matches before, but it never felt like we were the ones in control of our own destiny. It was never felt like that we knew what was going on and we knew exactly how to play. But yesterday, it felt like, we were going to win. We were confident we were going to win. And that final goal by Mbeumo, the fourth goal, that kind of rubber stamped it for me. It was like, Nah, you're not getting into this game again, Brighton. You're not getting an equaliser. We're going to come and destroy you. Here you go. Boom. How dare you score them 2 goals against us? And they replied by saying, shut up and sit down. Get out of our faces, Brighton. And then Mbeumo's 4th goal. That's what that was. Absolutely brilliant. Rick says it makes for a better show. Absolutely, Rick. Ryan says the only thing I'm concerned with is Ofcom. Oh yeah, mate. I heard someone did this yesterday to me. Someone messaged me saying, do you know what? He's going to be a huge miss once he goes to Ofcom. And I was like, oh no, don't say that to me. We're going to be missing Ahmad, Mbeumo and Mazraoui. Yeah. That's entirely our right side, isn't it? That's our right side. I mean, if Mazraoui's fit, he would be playing probably as in place of Luke Shaw, I'm thinking. But anyway, there were Ahmad and Mbeumo on that right side not being there. Yeah, that's a huge miss, man. That's a huge miss, and I'm worried about that already. Rick says not for the money they want for Baleba. Yeah, Rick. I just feel like we're getting our pants pulled down against, aren't we? I mean, look, he's a top player. I'm not going to say, look, Carlos Baleba isn't good, blah, blah, blah. But is he worth that much money right now? A player that has lost his head over a bit of interest from Man United. Look, I'm not saying that he shouldn't. Obviously, look, it's Man United. When Man United come knocking, there's not many players who are going to be like, oh, I'm not interested. Because, look, it's a dream move for many, many players who want to play for a top club. Then Jim says, I think we dodge a bullet with Baleba, not the best temperament. Yeah, spot on, mate. I was watching him yesterday carefully. I thought, right, do you know what? I'm going to watch Baleba, see what he does. And he got taken off 60 minutes into the game. And that just tells you everything that we need to know. I mean, someone was having a laugh saying, I think they need to knock off 50 mil off the Baleba's price tag because, look, that's what he's actually worth. That's the kind of performance he put in yesterday. No way is he worth, more than, say, 60, 70 million. No way. I mean, after his performance yesterday. I think, look, he is someone who's not with it right now. I'm not going to write him off. I'm not going to say he's not a good player. I just feel like he's not in the game. His head's not in the game. He's getting the ball. He doesn't really know what to do with it. He didn't make any real difference to Brighton. He made no difference defensively and going forward. It was like he wasn't even playing. Ryan says Anthony Taylor was a prick. Oh my God. Oh, do not remind me. Jim, you saw me absolutely losing my shit yesterday with Anthony Taylor, didn't you? I mean, he was so erratic. And I put out a message actually yesterday in the evening and I said, this guy tried to rob us of the game. This ref, Anthony Taylor, tried to rob us from winning yesterday, but luckily United didn't allow that to happen, and we kept in charge of everything, and we kept our own destiny in our own hands. We didn't allow the referee to make any crucial decision because there were so many fouls Brighton committed that he simply did not give. And I was thinking, has this guy been paid off or something? Absolute ridiculous, Ryan. Thanks for reminding me. You've been great, Ryan. You've jumped on and you've actually given me my criteria and agenda for today's show because it went out the window as soon as I jumped on and started talking about United and how great they were yesterday. But thank you for that. Rick says, that's when you buckle down and work harder to prove yourself. Exactly. And that's what we did. We realised we're not playing against 11 men. We're playing against bloody 12. This guy dressed in all black is, in fact, an imposter. He is playing for Brighton here. Jim says, if we carry on playing like this, we could at least be in the top 6. Yeah, absolutely, Jim. Absolutely. What fills me with confidence is we've got goals in this team. We've got Mbeumo. If Mbeumo doesn't step up, we've got Kuna. If he doesn't step up, we've got Šeško, who I think will come good. He's showing signs that he will, once he starts finishing. Right now, I think he's rushing things, which is expected. Because he's not used to the pace of the Premier League. He's coming in from the Bundesliga where you have a little bit more time to place your finishes But I think once he gets used to the speed of the Premier League, I think teams will have to be worried about Šeško because he will start scoring. This guy is a natural-born goal scorer. His shot is powerful. He is very good. I think once he starts getting used to the team and the team get used to him and realise where he makes the movements and what type of balls he wants, I think he will start cooking for United as well. Finishing this season strong is important. Yeah, I agree with you, Rick. What we need to do is we need to finish this season I think it's important because we need to make sure we don't pick up any major injuries. That's my main concern here right now. Watching even United yesterday, the only concern I had was that I don't want to pick up. I don't want one of our top players to get injured. And we've got a light squad. We might think we've got depth, but we haven't. We haven't really got a lot of depth in this team. We know if you pick up one or two major injuries, we're going to start struggling. But we've got positive news so far. We've got Martinez coming back. And I like the way Rúben Amorim isn't rushing back players. Now, he quite easily could have played Mason Mount back in that team yesterday. He could have thought, right, okay, I'm going to play the same team or almost the same team apart from Harry Maguire and rush Mason Mount back. But he didn't do that. And I loved that. I loved seeing that. I realised, oh, thank God we've got a sensible manager. Someone who knows, wait up, I'm not going to rush Mason Mount back just for this game, just for him to pick up another serious injury. So let him rest. Give him some time, because Mason Mount has been phenomenal for us this season. I've loved watching Mason Mount, and he's a nice lad, and I want him to have some success at United. I really do. I really want him to play well. I really like the guy. And what I've heard about him, he's a really nice fella, really nice guy around the pitch, genuine person, doesn't kind of have this ego or anything. He just works for the team. And I think we need more players like that, more players who play for the badge. And I think that's the difference. If you look at the players that we've signed this season, we've got Kuna, and if you watch any of his press conferences, it's brilliant, because what does he come out with? He says, I love United. I've always dreamt about playing for United. United was the only choice. I didn't want to play for anybody else. I'm playing for my dream club. When you hear that from a player, you know that's good news. We as fans know that we've been missing them kind of players. We've had mercenaries playing for this club for quite some time. We've had players who really don't give a shit about the badge, don't give a shit about the team. They turn up and they think they're bigger than the club, and that's a no-no for me. For me, it's always the club first, and everything else comes behind that, okay? So the club is number one. And then you got Mbeumo as well. Again, what was his dream move? Who did he want? Mbeumo could have gone to many other top clubs around the Premier League and in Europe. We know there were lots of clubs interested in him, but he only wanted Man United. He was a Man United fan, and he wanted Man United. And that's why I look at the team now and I think we've actually got players who want to play for the badge. And that's not a over-exaggeration. That is accurate. I look at these players and I think, yeah, finally we've got these players who give a shit about United. And they want to give their blood, sweat and tears for their club. I love it. And Rick, you say the best thing for United, Bruno is no longer the only game changer we have. Oh, spot on. I think Bruno's been average in some of the games that we've had this season. But we don't need to look for him anymore. We don't need to rely on Bruno Fernandes. And I think that's good for him, because I think as we go on in this season, I think Bruno Fernandes will become more and more confident in his abilities to kind of have that freedom to play his football and not worry about carrying United. And I think he will improve for it. And I think United as a team will gain more confidence knowing that they don't have to rely on one single player and they can rely on other players actually coming up with the goals. And that's what we need. You say, Jim says, yes, we've got goals in the team, and that's something we didn't have last season. Yeah, look, we've got to go back, Jim, and start thinking about Jason Wilcox, Omar Brada. We've got Christopher Vivell. We've got these people who've been brought in by obviously Ineos, and I have to give them credit for doing that. They've brought these people in, and they know about football. They know, they've watched Premier League football, they've managed teams, and they know exactly what to do. So they know, right, okay, do you know what? We're missing goals. And I've been harping on about this for years. I've been been complaining and complaining and complaining. If you go back and watch me, I was whinging about this such a long time ago, saying we need more goals in this team. And I think when Harry Kane come up for sale and there was talk about Harry Kane leaving Tottenham, I was pleading with United to go and sign Harry Kane. I was like, we need goals in this team. We need someone to come in and score goals, because we're missing that. We've got everything else is fine, but we haven't got enough goals, and we need someone who can put the ball into the back of the net. And this time round, what they've done over the summer, they've literally looked around the Premier League and thought, right, Kuna, double figures goals, Mbeumo, double figure goals, bring him in, and then we've automatically got at least 30 goals or 40 goals from them too. And then what we need is another player who can chip in. We've got Bruno Fernandes who can chip in, and boom, we've got lots of goals in this team, and that's what's been missing. Ryan, I think this is Leach's last chance. If he gets injured again, we should have cashed in for him. Yeah, I mean, look, Leach is struggling. Leach is struggling with his injuries right now, and it is concerning. It is concerning because I keep thinking, look, he's important to us as a player. He's very important to United. I think what he gives us, gives United. I think, look, if Luke Shaw, if he was fit, he would be playing in Luke Shaw's position right now, and he would be that man. And I think he gives us the ability to pass from the back as well. I think he's very good defensively, of course. But yeah, these injuries are now getting a bit concerning. He's had these injuries. I'm hoping that they don't rush him back. I hope that he can then come back fully 100% fit without having any niggles and things like that. And then yeah, if he gets injured again, I can see that happening. I can see United. There are rumours that United are looking to sign another centre back. There were some rumours about a couple of weeks ago about United even possibly looking at Mark Gouy, the Crystal Palace captain, the guy who was, possibly who was on the verge of signing for Liverpool, and then it all got cancelled last minute. But yeah, I mean, United are looking. They are keeping the options open because they do know that if they can't extend Harry Maguire's contract, then they might have to look out for some of the centre back. Then Jim says, I like Mason Mount, but I wouldn't drop Kuna to play him. Yeah, I think. I don't think so. I can't see that happening either. I think Rúben Amorim is clear on that as well. I think if there's a choice between Mason Mount and Kuna, I think Kuna starts ahead of him. What Kuna offers us is not just the closing down and the pressuring of the opposition, but he can just hold the ball. He's just brilliant at holding the ball and just playing football, and he's got goals in him as well, and he's got that ability to make a goal out of nothing. That's the difference. And Mbeumo on the other side, yes, he can finish, but what Kuna can do is he can turn things from a negative to positive within a flash. So that's what it is. Ryan says, same as Mbeumo, he was a United fan too. Yeah, he was. Rick says, in my opinion, the problem at United is and will be the Glazers. Yeah, I agree with you, Rick. I agree with you. You know what? I've said it for many years. I've said it. I said, until we don't flip and get rid of the Glazers, I can't fully say that, look, we're gonna become a success again. Because I think we need a blank slate. And I think everybody accepts that. Everybody accepts that the Glazers, it's like having... I've described them as parasites, and if you look at the definition of a parasite, it is something that latches onto you and sucks the blood out of you. That's what it does, and that's what the Glazers are. They've not benefited Man United anyway. If someone can turn up and tell me, and this is a Man United fan, I don't want to flip in Liverpool fans or somebody else coming out and saying, the Glazers are really good for you. But if someone can come up from United fans and tell me that what positive the Glazers brought to United, I can't think of anything. I can't. I really can't stand them. What else is it? Rick says Leacher got injured by a player falling on him. Not his fault. Previous injury, they returned him too soon. Yeah, they did. I think that's what it is, Rick. I think the issue is that we've rushed these players back previously, trying because we've not had the squad playing football, regular football. So we've needed Leacher back. We've needed other players back as quick as possible, rushing them back, and that's never advisable. And yeah, they get injured immediately after. I mean, they play one game, next game, boom, they're injured, they're out again. And what you tend to find is they're out for a longer time once they get injured again. But age-wise, yeah, Rick, yeah, you're right about his age. And then we've got Jim saying we have to get at least win 5 games on a trot so that poor guy can get his he can get his hair cut. Yeah, I mean, I think he might be close. I think we can do it. I think we can do it, guys. I think I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to believe that we're cooking. We're doing something different. I can see it happening. The game against what we need to do is take every game seriously. We can't look at every game and think, we're going to turn this team over. So Nottingham Forest, I'm not taking them lightly. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not taking any team lightly. I'm looking at every team and thinking, how can they cause us trouble? And what can we do to stop them winning? How can we turn up and make sure that we impose ourselves? And how can we go and get the goals? That's how I'm looking at it. Game at a time. I'm not getting carried away. I'm not looking at it and thinking, that's it, it's done. United are going to start cooking now. I want United to prove everyone wrong. I think 5 games, as you say, Jim, is at least what we need to win. And yeah, for that poor guy who's just hanging on. I mean, yeah, you know what? At first I thought, what a crazy guy. 5 games. I thought, look, you should have at least said 3. I think that was doable. I mean, 5 games. This guy really put his hair on the line there, didn't he? And then we've got Joseph. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're loving your weekend. Hope you're having a nice time. I've seen that United are gathering momentum again. Yes, Joseph. Yes, we are, my friend. We are once again looking like we're improving. The thing with me is that, and what's got me filled with a lot more confidence is that I can see improvement. I can see a movement in a different direction to what we've had previously. And I'm not talking about just under Rúben Amorim. I'm talking about Ten Hag. I'm talking about other managers that we've had in the past since Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm going all the way back, guys. I'm going all the way back. And I'm telling you that I've not seen United convincingly win against a team like I've seen right now. That Liverpool game, that there was something different about United. And Rúben Amorim, since he's come in, I've said to myself and I've been telling fans, look, there's something different about this manager. He's not like the rest of them. He's come in and number one, he's sticking to what he is. He believes in. And look, even I've criticised Rúben Amorim. Even I hold my hands up. I hold my hands up and say, look, at times even I've given up. Even I've panicked and thought, oh my God, we need to change something. Rúben, you need to do something. Do this, do that, do this. But he stuck to his guns. And you've got to give him. You've got to give it. He's got balls, man. This guy's got balls of steel. He's thought, F you, I'm not changing anything. I'm not changing anything. I don't care. I don't care what you're... And now look what's happened. Everyone is in his corner saying yes to Rúben Amorim. I'm loving it, guys. I'm loving it. So, Joseph, welcome. And really, I love it. I love that we are all feeling the same thing. We're all feeling joyous after far too long. We've always been thinking negative and I've had a weekend where I've been messaging United fans and we've been talking. Jim, of course, was with us yesterday. And we were just buzzing. I just love that feeling. I love the feeling of winning. And look, it's just not... It was like Jim, I think, said, it's not just winning. We've won in a different way, in a different style. I'm sure you guys can see and feel the same thing I'm feeling. It wasn't like the old United wins that we've had, where we've just about got over the line. We were confident. We were coasting for most of the game. We were in control. There was not one moment in that game, even when they got the 2 goals. I was still confident. I was like, look, I still believe that we deserve to win this game, and we were clear. And even the 4-2 goal line, actually, I think it was. It didn't reflect the entire game. I think it looked more favourable for Brighton, but Brighton did not play well enough against United. We took them out of the game essentially. Where are we? Ryan, yes. Ryan, I can 100% sure Kuna is Brazilian, not like Anthony. Yeah, man. Oh, look, I'm going to say something controversial, but I'm happy that Anthony's gone off. I'm happy. I mean, there might be some fans out there who might be saying, look, you miss Anthony. I don't know who you are. You might be out there, but I'm loving the new Brazilian we've got in Kuna, man. I'm much more relaxed watching him play for us. Jim says it's been a long time since we were able to relax now and rely on the guy between the sticks. Lemons is a breath of fresh air. Yeah, Jim, we said that. I think Rick mentioned the point of Senny Lemons really early on in today's show, and he was like, look, Senny Lemons has been pivotal for us in these couple of weeks. And yeah, since he's come in, man, have we enjoyed watching United again. You know, every time we had Onana in goals or Altay Bendia, you always felt like anyone from the opposition side can take a shot and score from no matter where. And that does not fill you with confidence. I mean, you're watching it and thinking, oh, this random person from the opposition player, like, you know, he could be from the midfield, he could be some shit player, but if he gets that shot on target, there's a 50-50 chance that he's going to get it in if Onana's in goals. And you do not want that. You do not want that. And look, Senny Lemons for me, yesterday's performance, solid performance. I can't blame him for the free kick that went in, and the second goal was definitely not his fault. That was just defensively we fell asleep, and we should have been more alive to that situation. However, his game against Liverpool, what a performance! And I'm going back to that because in that he himself kept us in the game. He made a save against Isaac, 1-on-1, and then he rushed out to Salah when Salah was odds on to score with his left foot, and then he rushed out to him and got him to kick it over. So that was brilliant. Niche fan, welcome to the channel, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your weekend, as all Man United fans are. Thank you for dropping a like, and of course stick around and join in the conversation, because it's interesting tonight, guys. It's interesting. Rick says, as a coach, I understand Rúben sticking to his guns. A good coach doesn't cave, just doesn't cave in, just keeps teaching. Yeah, look, I have to give it to him. I have to give it to Rúben Amorim. I'm loving him more for that. I am. I'm actually thinking, right, okay, do you know what? This guy, he believes in his teachings. He believes in his philosophy. He's not a manager who's crumbled under pressure. Anybody else would be like, shit, my job's under threat. I'm going to get the sack any minute. I need to change something. And he said the same thing again and again. He said, look, if I change, the players will lose respect for me. The players will realise that I'm not sticking with what I've been teaching them all this time. For the entire year that I've been here, I've been nagging on at them saying, this is what you need to be doing. And if you don't do this, you're going to fail. And if I then suddenly change my tact and my whole philosophy, they're going to think, this guy's full of shit. This guy's full of shit. What he's been telling us for about a year now, he's full of shit. They're going to lose all respect. And I think Rick said it really at the start of the show tonight, which was, look, Jim Ratcliffe coming out and backing him for 3 years. Kind of popped that balloon for all these players that thought, oh, he's out. I mean, there was how many? I think it was Gary Neville who came out saying something like, oh, he's lost the dressing room. It's clear he's lost the dressing room and stuff, and that's it. It's over for Rúben Amorim. And I was worried. I was thinking, right, okay, this is it, man. This is it. I think this is where we hear that, oh, look, he's been sacked, but thankfully not. Rick says there are many good players that are not suited to in the Premier League. Yeah, I agree with that. There are many players that just simply aren't. They can go elsewhere and play really good football. I mean, we had Timo Werner. I mean, he's a prime example for me. Came from Bundesliga, flopped it for Chelsea. It didn't really play well for Tottenham. But whenever he goes back to Bundesliga, he looks like a bloody crazy striker. Looks brilliant. And Anthony's the same. Onana is shameless to ask for an increase for his wage before the season started. Ryan, yeah, I think that was it. That was the final straw. That's what the reports say. The reports say that Onana turned up back to pre-season and said he wants his salary to be increased rather than decreased because he believes he's worth it. And I think the board, including Rúben Amorim, were not really happy with his attitude, turning up saying, look, I need more money. And especially given that we got screwed over the season before. So yeah, I think that was the final straw for him, and he's got to accept he didn't play well. He did not play well for Man United. Niche fan says, please can you rate my all-time United 11: De Gea, Evra, De Ligt, Vidic, Valencia, Keane, Bruno, Rooney, Mbumo, Kuna, CR7. That's a hard one, Nish. I think that's a whole new topic, mate. That's a whole new topic. I mean, that we could be here for days. I mean, I do not even want to start on that conversation, Nish. Maybe what we'll do one whole show dedicated to our best 11 United players. I mean, I'll let everyone drop their 11 players, because I'm telling you right now, I'd make some changes to that. I'd make some serious changes to that. Yeah, it's so hard because United over the years, they've had such amazing players. Some players that I wasn't around to watch. I mean, when you hear some people talking about George Best, Dennis Law, Brian Robson, these kind of players that we mentioned, I wasn't around to watch them, but there were top players in that time, and then the argument can go on and on about who is good and who's not, and then there's players like Beckham, Giggs, that you look at and think, oh my God, how can you leave these guys out of a top 11 Man United side? But that can go on. But thank you for subbing, mate. Thank you for subbing, Niche. Rick says he did change. He evolved the system. He did. And I love that. I love that about him. He's changed things around, but he's done it in a way that he's still got the confidence of the players. Our pundit players should shut up and not spread rumours. Yeah, spot on, Rick. Rick says his decrease in pay was due to his crappy play that dropped us from top 6. Yep. That's Onana. I watched them. I'm ancient. Lol. No, Rick. Do you know what? We need you guys. We need you guys to help the young fans that are now coming to the fore and supporting Man United. Because I meet some young fans who are younger than me, and I remind them of David Beckham, and they ask me, they're like, oh, what was David Beckham like? Or what was Ryan Giggs like? And I'm like, oh my God. Like when I was a kid, I would kick the ball. I'd go around playing football outside, and I'd be like, oh, I'm Giggs and I'm Beckham with a free kick and things like that, because they were absolutely brilliant players. And you've got to remind the kids, you've got to tell the kids, like, look. And now obviously when they play the games and they've got they're playing football games and they've got Rio Ferdinand in the team, and they're like, oh, was he actually a good centre-back? And I'm like, was he good centre-back? Are you flipping kidding me? The guy was an absolute giant of a player. Was Vidic a good centre-back? Are you kidding me? This guy was an absolute tank for us. And so it's brilliant. But we need people like you, Rick, to tell us and to remind us of the players that you've watched, like the Brian Robsons maybe, or even further back, hopefully. But we need that link, because unfortunately, look, we haven't got many people reminding us of the great players that put on this United shirt. And there's been some absolute giants of world football that have carried United and played for United in the past. And we need to remember them. Of course we do. What is it? Niche fan, I just love Mbumo and Kuna so much. They will win as the title back. Yeah, I'm so far. I don't want to touch wood. I don't want to jinx it. I'm being honest with you. I look at them too, and I'm falling in love with them day by day. I look at them and think these guys are so good. They're carrying the team, the way they play, the confidence that they instill in the rest of the team. And I'm just thinking, just carry on, guys. Just carry on. Just carry on. Rick says, that's why I say stuff. Try, keep spirits positive. Of course you do, mate. Of course you do. We need the likes of you, Rick. We need the likes of you. We need the likes of Jim, Ryan, everybody who's joined in today. Because, look, we need some positive. We need something positive. And I'm glad that we can actually enjoy something. Finally, we can actually discuss football and enjoy watching United and come to the table essentially and look forward to the next week. Next week we've had an absolute brilliant weekend. I've loved every minute of it. You know what I'm like. You know, when I watch United win, I want to watch more football. I want to carry and watch other teams. I'll watch random football because I've enjoyed United play so much that then I start watching other teams play, and it makes football an enjoyable sport to watch. And for years, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not been enjoyable. I mean, once you watch United and your soul just leaves you, it's like, forget that. I'm not watching any other team. I'm not watching any other football. I want to ignore football for as long as possible because I don't want to be reminded that United are not playing well. Rick says, great show, great chat. Cheers for all from Canada. Rick, thank you for joining us, mate. I'm going to be calling it a day as well. Believe it or not, I jumped on and I said to myself, it's going to be a 20-minute long show. I'm not going to keep this a long one. I'm going to make it a short one. But then just you guys dropping your comments, people liking, people subscribing. It just kind of like, I love it. And then I just get carried away and I want to discuss it. But you guys make the show. It's not me. I'm just simply a vessel. I'm just simply turning on the camera and allowing everyone else to join in, and you guys make the show. I'm just simply here, just hosting it, but you guys are the guests of the show. So thank you for everybody else who's been joining. Niche fan says we need to get Wharton in. Yeah, Niche, we've said this. We agree. We've said it before. I think you came on. I can't remember who it was who mentioned it. I think it was. Let me go back. I think it was Ryan. It was Ryan who jumped on and said that Wharton, and I've been saying it as well. From when I'm looking at it right now, I keep looking at it and think, Baleba currently doesn't look that impressive. I'm going to come out and say it. I mean, some people might criticise me, say, look, Baleba's still a top player. He's just not got his head right now. And yeah, look, that might be the case, but I'm looking at it and I'm looking at Adam Wharton, and he's playing out of his skin for Crystal Palace right now, one of their best players. And I'm worried. I'm thinking if we let this one go, and in another year or so, he's valued in excess of 100 million, and we're there thinking, shit, we could have bought this guy at maybe 70, 75 mil. Why didn't we just go and get him? And that's what I'm thinking right now. I'm looking at him thinking, this guy looks the real deal. He looks like a guy who's very calm. For his age, he's very calm, very relaxed, just plays just easy football. He gets the ball, he carries it forward. Defensively, he's very good. He's just a very good, solid player. And I keep saying he actually reminds me of Michael Carrick, the way he used to play. And we all know Michael Carrick was an absolute legend for us. Lawrence, thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for hitting that comment button as well. We're going to own the Premier League this time. Is that what you've written? We're going to win the Premier League. What is it? Which one is it? But either way, hopefully, let's hope it's true. Real Madrid will buy Wharton if we don't. Yeah, man. I've heard that as well. I kind of did a show on it about 2 weeks ago, where I got someone from out. I got some news that Real Madrid were keeping their tabs on Adam Wharton. Now that is massive. If Real Madrid are joining in on the race, and we think we're the only ones. We think we're the only Premier League club looking at Wharton. No, there's other Premier League clubs also looking at him as well. So we need to be careful. We need to make sure that we make these contacts with these players and get them in. Look, there's positives. There's positives because what we are doing is now we're not doing the same old United recruitment process, whereas we'll make an offer despite not knowing whether the player wants to join us or not, and make ourselves look like absolute fools by not signing the player after making numerous offers. This time, United are playing it different. They're tapping up the player first. They get to speak with the representatives and they ask them, do you want to join Man United? Are you serious about joining United? Once they get the green light from the player, that's when they move to the club and say, right, we want to sign this player. And that makes it a lot easier, knowing that we've got a player here who actually wants to join United, just like Sesko. Rick says, bring up Sesko. Bring up... Is that it? Rick, what are you saying about bring up Sesko? Is it Sesko? Wharton is Anish says Wharton is better than Carrick. He's the ultimate modern number 6. Yeah, look, he's going in the right direction. This season, he's impressed me a lot. I mean, I'm watching Wharton playing for Crystal Palace, and I'm watching his displays, and I'm thinking, this guy is getting better every single game. He is getting better and better. So, I'm enjoying watching him, and I'm thinking, yeah, we should go. Jim says, the only problem is there's another international break in November. It's a pain. I'm not interested in international football until the World Cups or Euros. Too many breaks. Yeah, Jim, you must have seen my shows. I hate international breaks. I hate them. I'm not interested in international breaks. And you're right. The only time I watch international football is when we're playing in the Euros or when we've got the World Cup. That's when I actually sit down and enjoy watching every single match and enjoy following along. Up until then, it just doesn't feel... It feels fake to me almost. It's like it's not actually happening. So that's why I'm not a big fan of international football. Rick says our young mid from the juniors. Oh yeah. Oh sorry, yeah. We've got some top academy players coming through. We've got some top academy players. We heard just this week JJ Gabriel. Who's trained with the first team. We've got a few other names that have been mentioned that are going to break through this season. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can bring in a few academy players as well, because we've been lacking in that department. We've not been bringing enough players through from the academy, and that, I think, adds a different dynamic when we're bringing a few academy players through as well. And he's left-footed as well. Yeah, he's left-footed. Yeah, brilliant left foot as well. He's got, at least we know Amorim is here for 3 years. Yeah, at least we know he's here for 3 years. At least we know that we've got some consistency, and at least we can start building and moving in the right direction, and we're not letting player power dictate our club anymore. That's the most important thing. Guys, I'm going to leave it there for today's show. It's been lovely having you all on this Sunday evening. It's been a terrific weekend. We're all buzzing. We're all enjoying everything. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll bring you some further updates and news from United. And then we've got the game against Nottingham Forest to look forward to next weekend. But thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit the like. If you're not already a subscriber, guys, hit that subscribe button as well, so you can keep on top of all the latest news from Man United. And, of course, join us on these kind of live streams. And everyone who's joined in and commented, amazing, guys. You've been amazing. Thank you very much. Finish off, Niche. I'll read off your comment, which is, I've realised Menu and Zertsky don't fit into the team. We need to move them on and get rid of Ugarte as well. I would probably move on Ugarte, Zertsky. I'm a bit biased towards Menu. Young Mancunian. I love seeing players work their way through. So Menu, I'd keep. I love Menu. I think he's still got a lot to show, and he will do great. Jim, like always, mate, you are a legend. Rick, thank you very much. Niche, thank you very much. Who else was it? Ryan, again, legendary, came in. Thank you for all your comments as well. Yaya as well. Everybody commented. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your week. I'll be back tomorrow. Goodbye.